We are going to be doing lesson 3.2, writing expressions from chapter 3. This piece of the worksheet, I want you to go ahead and think of as many words as possible for the different operations that you see here and fill them in. For help, you can use page number 120 from the textbook or the worksheet that we did in class last week. All right, let's go ahead and start writing the phrases as an expression. One thing I want you to notice here is that we are just writing the phrase as an expression. We are not going to do anything else with it. We're not going to solve it even if it's a numerical expression. Okay, remember that a numerical expression is where only numbers and operations are given, like in numbers 1 and 2. And the difference between them and the other problems given here is that every other problem has a variable in it. So the ones with the variables in them are called algebraic expressions, and the ones with just numbers are called numerical expressions. Let's go ahead and solve some of these. Now, what I want you to do when you write the phrases as an expression is to underline the word, the keyword that tells you what operation it is. In this case, it says 6 more than 4, and I know that more than means it's an addition problem. It's an addition problem. So 6 more than 4. 6 more than 4. Let's go ahead and try the second one. In this case, it says it's less than, which means it is a subtraction problem. Now, 7 less than 15. So I know that 15 goes in the front, and then you take away 7 from it. Number 3 says 3 times a number x, and we all know that times means multiplication. I'll try and use the dot wherever possible because we are going to be using the variable x in the phrases. Okay, so 3 times x. Now remember guys, instead of writing it that way, we can also write it as just 3x. And we talked about this in class. If there is nothing written between a number and a variable, it always implies multiplication. Oops, sorry about that. Okay. Let's go ahead and figure this one out. The quotient means it's a division problem. I'm going to underline quotient just to keep it straight in my head. That's a division problem. The quotient of a number m and 4. Again, you have your number m, and you're dividing it with 4. All right, I want you to go ahead and figure out 7, 8, 9, and 10 on this page. All right, now let's take a look at 11 and 12. These are a little bit more complex than the ones that we just did. In this, there are 2 operations. Let's see what those are. 3 less than the quotient of a number y and 4. Okay, let me first go ahead and underline my 2 operations. I have a less than and I have a quotient. So I know that that's a subtraction and this is a division operation right here. Okay, now I can see from this that there are 2 parts. 3 is less than, and that the other one is quotient of a number y and 4. So let me go ahead and write y over 4, the quotient. Let's take away the 3 from it. Now there's another way to do it. I could also write this as y divided by 4, and I'm going to put this in parentheses because this phrase went together, and then I'm going to take away the 3 from it. So do you see that you could either do this way or you could also do it this way? Let's try number 12. In this it says that it is the sum of a number x and 4 and all divided by 3. The sum and all divided by. Sum we know is plus, and then we know that divided means it is a division sign. This was an easy one. the sum of a number x and 4. So you have your x and then you're adding 4 to it. And you remember you're dividing all this with 3. So all this divided by 3. Or again, like we talked before, or we could do it as x plus 4, and we are going to divide it by 3. Either way is okay with me. Okay? Alright, let's move on to the next one. In this case, they are asking us to write the phrase and then evaluate it when x is given and y is given as a given number. Remember, we did this piece in 3.1 where we had to evaluate expressions. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look. 12 more than the product of 5 and a number x. I have 2 more than and product. More than is addition and product is multiplication. Okay, let's go ahead and write this phrase in. 12 more than the product of 5 and a number x. So sort of this goes together. So it is, I'm sort of going to go ahead and keep it that way. 5 times x. 5 times x. Okay. So I'm done with my phrase. Now remember the substitution step. Don't forget the substitution step. My x is 12. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the phrase, this time with the substitution part in it, times 5, or I'm sorry, plus 5 times, what's my value of x that's given here? It's given as 2. So I'm going to put that 2 in there and then do it. Alright, now we know the order of operations. Order of operations tells me that I have to do the 5 times 2 first. So now I have a 12 plus 10 and I end up with a 22. I want you to use the same way. Make sure that you sort of see what the operations are and then write the phrase and then evaluate it for the rest of the 3 problems on this page. Let's go to the last problem in this. In this, let's go ahead and read the story problem first. It says you eat 5 slices of bread and your friend eats 2 slices fewer than you eat. And they are asking you to write the expression that describes the number of slices your friend eats. They really don't care if you give them an answer or not, because remember, boys and girls, that's what they're going to do. They are more interested in, do you know how to set up your problem? Once you set up your problem, the computation is usually easy. So that's what they are looking for when they give you a story problem. Let's go ahead and see what part of the story problem tells me the operation. You eat 5 slices of bread, nothing there. Your friend eats 2 slices fewer than. Oh, look, I have fewer than, which is a subtraction problem. Alright, so you eat 5 slices and your friend eats 2 fewer than you. There you go. I have set up my phrase. Alright, I want you to finish up the problems that we did not do on this worksheet, and we are going to check them in class.